Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to just do a bit of talking about what came out in the patch and what you may want to do for endgame. So as you can see, I'm on my main here. 100% maxed out. And you may have noticed that they just came out with the Arcs Rally event. This is the second one. And I'm just going to give a quick overview on how they work and what why you would particularly want to do them. So in this particular case, uh, floating continent, runes, and floating facility are the three amplified quests, and it'll be that way, I believe, until the 14th or the 24th for the next update. Every time you complete a set, you will see your arcs. Right, I don't know why it's called arc ABR, but your arc boost, your arc rally boost, will go up depending on which difficulty you do. If you do very hard, it'll go up by 10% per, and if you do super hard, it'll go up by 20% per, or mix and match. You get 10% for very hard, 20% for super hard. You'll note that it keeps tab of what difficulty you've completed on, and once you've completed the set, that is when the boost will go into effect. It won't be immediate. So like if you finish floating facility on super hard, you're not gonna suddenly have 20%. No, you have to get all three done, and you'll get the total number between the three added to your bonus. Now this bonus does not diminish. So like tomorrow, it's still gonna be there. So highly recommend just capping it as soon as possible and then doing whatever you want. Overall, what you're gonna find is the two popular ones are going to be floating continent and floating facility. Floating facility, especially because it's one of the best advanced quests for EXP. Nice narrow hallways, tons of mobs, and even good loot. Um, so you're going to see tons of people doing that. So you are going to want to get your A capsules. And if you're leveling, you want to get to 40 as soon as possible and jump in on this because it's just going to get you up there so much quicker. Um, the only reason I mentioned floating facility is a possible number two is because it does have a chance of dropping or spawning rare versions of the bosses inside that drop form gear. And form gear is some of the strongest gear that you can get right now, and it actually lasts for some time. There's the wand, the boots, and the rod, but the rod doesn't count. It's a joke. Um, so you'll see a lot of techers and you'll see a lot of jet boot bouncers uh, trying to get people to go to floating continent. But most are going to stick to floating facility because it does have more bosses, like the griffins there. It has better EXP, and you're just more likely to find more people going there. Runes is kind of the joke. You're going to go to runes when you run low on C capsules, essentially C or E capsules. But no one's gonna seriously go hard on the runes unless perhaps you're a force character trying to get some Elder Souls. That's pretty much it. But yeah, if you're in the leveling process or you're trying to get some 13 star starters, this is an excellent way to go. Um, they do give you some capsules for the event to start off with. Um, I definitely recommend you jump right into it. Um, for those of you that are, maxed out like me, you may be going, oh well, I don't want anything there, um, and I don't really need the EXP. So, if you are in that position, you're obviously going to want to head to Ultimate Quests. Ultimate Quest, there's Navarius and Lilipa. Um, some people are going to say, oh, you go there strictly for the slave weapons and the harmony weapons. But realistically, even if you have those weapons for whatever reason you've just banked and you just bought them and you have them right, you still want to do these. The reason why is because there's a gentleman up on the shopping plaza by the name of Zeeg, and that's a nice little Sonic there for the event, or Zig. Zig eventually will have the ability to sell you 13-star weapons, or sorry, not sell, craft you. Let's go with that. Um, Craft you 13-star weapons, eventually 4-star, 15-star, etc., etc. Um, but he requires components that you will, at least on the initial ones. The initial ones should be the invade weapons, and they'll require 50 of 50 each of these beauties. So you may notice I still need to go to Lillipah. Okay. Um, and it's going to require 100 of these. These are what you get at the end boss of the Ultimate Quests. But when you actually go to Ultimate Quest, you're actually going to see there's quite a few people just farming the regular bosses, trying to get those slaves and harmonies. But you are going to need 100 of these and a ton of XQs in order to get your invade weapon, and then Zig uh, will offer an upgrade, turning your invade weapon into an austere weapon. And the austere weapons will require 50 of each, and I think also a whole bunch of Nero Obsidia shards, but you'll get those like no tomorrow. You get them off every false, so every Elder you kill, every Luther, even in just advanced quest, you'll find Luther, and if he's a high enough level, he'll drop Obsidia shards. Um, so if you're in a situation where you are level 75, you don't need the XP, and you don't care about Revulosos or any of the loot that drops from the rally quest, that's definitely what you should be doing. You should be doing ultimate quests, preparing for the content that will be coming out. Um, so it's kind of hard to really dedicate a lot of time and resources to like making Uber gear right now, because basically you have to treat the game in its current state. Um, Kind of like World of Warcraft with like Burning Crusade just around the horizon. Um, because Sega has said publicly they want us caught up to Japan, and they want us caught up to Japan soon. So that's a whole tremendous amount of content that is going to be coming out at a relatively fast pace until we're caught up, and then it'll slow down. But then we'll have so much to do that it's just going to be kind of overwhelming. It's for this reason I recommend doing Ultimate Quests if you are not in need of 13 stars, if you're not in need of gaining EXP or gearing up. I'd highly recommend doing Ultimate Quests because Zeeg will eventually offer you the invade weapons, which you can turn to austere weapons, and then those austere weapons later on can be turned to 14 stars and then eventually 15 stars. Um, the other things you definitely want to keep an eye on if you are a newer player is up here. You are going to find the badge and memory exchanger. Just with the PC launch, they added Rising Weapon 2. Rising Weapon 2, um, you can get them in your mission passes now. There used to be only one. Now, you can get the Rising Weapon 2s. Um, and these are going to be dropped from doing mining defenses 1 and 3 in Ultimate. And you can get them from Gone with Wind in the Rain, the new event UQ that came out last week. Most bosses drop one. And this is going to be your primary path of getting stronger. Initially, what you're going to want to gun for are these bad boys. The reason why is because they are incredibly strong. Okay, they blow the Saki out of the water, they blow the Brissa out of the water. It's my understanding that you can upgrade the Saki later on. That's why people still want to farm it. But for like a starter, you know, this is amazing armor as a starter. Okay, or even if you're higher up there, this beats the Brissa, and it does currently beat the Saki. So it is currently the best armor in the game until Sega releases more content. I recommend getting the back and the arms and leaving the legs as the last option. The reason why is the austere weapons, oddly enough, have a set bonus with a pair of legs that drop from the Profound Darkness, which is urgent quests that we'll get later. Um, and her 11-star legs and the austere weapon form a set bonus that give 80 to all defenses. So the leg is probably the lowest priority, but I definitely would concentrate on this. And then once you have these, then if you don't have a 13 star, and for whatever reason at that point, um, you can consider the ray weapons. The ray weapons are fairly solid 13 stars, um, and they can be upgraded to the Union weapons later on. So they do have some value. They do keep, some of that potential behind them. So that it's a good purchase as well, but definitely prioritize these. This is just a joke. Just ignore this. But yeah, and that's kind of the state of the game right now. You do the arc rallies, or you're doing ultimate quests. Do try and get your classes up there if you haven't already. Um, just because each one of the classes offers a class boost, a permanent boost to your characters that just works on all classes regardless. Um, it's important to note also that these are account bound bonuses. Like, so if you get a character, any character, to level 75 force, you'll have the force stat bonus on all of your characters from then on. So if you do want to have three characters, you want to be like, oh, this is my melee guy, this is my ranged guy, and this is my magic person, you don't have to worry about getting them all to level 75. I just decided to because I'm lazy. I even spent money on the 4 megs just to not worry about that. Um, but yeah, that's just kind of the state of the game right now. So good luck in your Arcs rallies. Hopefully you get some good loot. Um, good luck grinding the ultimate. Hopefully you make some mad Meseta if you already got what you need. And yeah, if you like what you see, go ahead and give me a like and subscribe, and I'll upload something probably within the next week or so. Have an excellent day.